Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another exciting tutorial on Pro Tools 10 brought to you by D2BD Studios. In today's tutorial, we want to briefly discuss the Workspace Browser inside Pro Tools because it's a very important utility, or window rather, that you can pull up and use inside Pro Tools. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now that we're inside Pro Tools, you want to know how to get to your Digi browser. And it's very simple. To the top where you have your main menu, click on Windows and scroll down to Workspace or Project because these are the two browsers associated with Pro Tools. Let's click on Project first. Okay, so as you can see, we are inside the Project browser. And the Project browser is fairly simple to understand. It tells you that you're inside the project browser in the title bar up here, and it tells you the name of the session that you're in. To the left side, it lets you know that you have your audio files, which is associated with your session, and the session file. And if you had fade folders, then you would have another folder stacked above or below the audio files folder, your backups and what so have you. So this particular browser is only for the current project that you are in on your Pro Tools session. Now let's take a look at the Workspace browser. So just like the project browser, our Workspace browser has a toolbar, which is this section here, which allows us to see a search icon or magnifying glass, view selector presets that we can set, a audio button that we can click on to preview our files inside the Workspace browser, okay, and also a audio file conforms to session tempo button. That's what this is right here, okay? And then we have our elastic audio plug-in selector right next to it. Then to the extreme right, we can see that we have the browser menu, that if we click on the browser menu, it gives us a huge menu that allows us to perform different functions inside of the Workspace browser. We're going to touch on this shortly. Now, where we see this S, this whole small section is basically your column section. And you can organize this column section any way you want it, depending on, the work you're doing. Okay? And this basically allows you to see all the information associated with your current session or just any particular documents inside of Pro Tools that you're going to access. As you can see, we have a header section, which is right here. Everything here is your header section. And we also have a items list section, which only pops up when we click on this search icon or the magnifying glass, which is what I like to call it. And once you click on it, it turns green, and then you will see your items list section. Okay? Now, also, if we click on the search icon, it gives us this box where we're able to type in a name of something that we want to search for. Then to the right, we're able to distinguish what kind of file we're looking for. Simply by clicking the down arrow to kind, under or under kind, we are able to change with this pop-up window what we are looking for. A folder, a video file, session file, etc. So, if I type in ride, I'm looking for an audio track or anything associated with ride, and I hit search, okay, then Pro Tools is going to search all these checked volumes to find anything associated with the word ride. It's just like if you were on Google searching for, pizza. It's going to pull up anything associated with the metadata tagging of pizza. Okay, so when this window opens, you will see a lot more things pop up. Audio files will pop up. session documents, folders, because I have any clicked here. If I clicked on the down arrow and said I wanted just to see audio files and then hit search, then I would only see audio files with the name ride attached to it. Okay, and that's what I'm seeing now. Alright, so now that we see that our items list have been populated with session information related to our search, we are able to see that we have a lot of information over here in our scrolling pane section, where we're able to see the waveforms for associated files on the left, the duration, and we can leave comments here by simply clicking and typing something like whatever and then hitting enter. So now this particular session file has a comment associated with it, and we can right click and delete that if we want. Okay, and then click out of the box. So if we use our scrolling pane and we scroll all the way over into this section, we are able to see that we have a lot of different columns that are accessible because of our settings that we have enabled. Some of these we're not using for this session, so we can take them off. Now, depending on the type of work you're doing, you may definitely use these functions, no question about it. You might have a shoot date if you're doing something for post-production where you need to input that metadata information and so forth. If you go to your column section up here and right click, we are able to uncheck any function that we do not want to see in our column. I'm just going to hit default, and that's going to shorten the length in this pane over here or in this window. And if you right click again, you'll see that I'm not able to see the channel names, the scene takes, etc. Only what's checked is what I'm able to see. Okay, now if we simply hit command or control on our keyboard and click on a number, we are able to set this as the preset setting. So if I click on 1 up here, this is the general preset setting for 1. But if I go back and I hit 3, you will see that the preset settings that I chose is saved. Now let's briefly discuss the options in the browser menu, and you can find your browser menu by going to the top right and clicking on the down arrow. Now in the browser menu, if we click on a name in our items list and go back to the browser menu, we can take this selected name that we clicked on or session information that we clicked on, and we can create what's called a new catalog from it. And what a new catalog is if you basically want to take all your dog sounds or something, or your cat sounds, or cars, all your effects or something, and you want to put them in a particular folder where you can reach them faster than going through all these different volumes, then you would simply create a new catalog from that by hitting new catalog, giving it a name, and then the selected file will go into that catalog. Now we are also able to lock a particular selection, unlock it, delete it, and we are also able to invert. So basically what that allows you to do is everything else that is not selected becomes selected, and what is selected is unselected. So now let's talk about the Spacebar toggle file preview. And what this allows you to do, if this function is checked, it will allow you to simply hit your spacebar, and whatever is selected will play. So if I click on this track here and I hit the spacebar, it's going to play my selection. because the spacebar toggle file preview is selected. If you uncheck it and you hit your spacebar, it will end up playing this session. Okay, so whatever current session you have open, that will play instead of the selected session that you are checking on in your items list. So I like to keep this spacebar toggle file preview on because I like to know that when I come in here and I click on my mouse, I'm able to demo anything in here. Now, let's talk about other ways that we can play the files in here. We can click on the speaker icon, and if we want to play from a certain selection, we can use our mouse and go to where we want and then click, and it will play from there. If we want to turn off the music, we can simply click on the speaker again, or we can click up here in our speaker icon that is located in our toolbar section. Okay, now we're also able to lower the volume by clicking into this window where we're able to see decibel readings. Okay, and simply by scrolling up and down, it gives us a pop-out fader that allows us to set the volume control to how we want to hear the sound that we're demoing. Alright, so the last thing I want to show you guys before I go is how to really customize more of your search options. And if you remember what I said about these check boxes right here, if we uncheck them when we do our search, whatever we're searching for, Pro Tools will only search in the checked volumes. And if you see the arrow and we click on it, it becomes a down arrow, and then we are able to customize more by simply navigating to where we want it to really search from, because we can really choose which folders we want Pro Tools to really look into. We don't want to do a long search if we have an idea where our files are really nested. Okay, so that's pretty much it right now, guys, about the Workspace browser. If you guys have any questions, please hit me on YouTube or shoot me an email or something. I hope that this tutorial was helpful at least, and let me know what's up. Peace.